Welcome, everybody, to the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast right here on the Winner's Circle Sports Betting channel. It's Tuesday, March 12th. It's March Madness, baby. And who better to bring on than my true trusted cohorts, Mr. Jesse Schule and Sean Higgs. I'm Ross Benjamin, all three of us of our sponsor site, gamblersworld.net. Folks, just a friendly reminder before we get to Jesse and Sean. We do have a couple specials going on. $249 right now will get you any handicapper's entire March Madness package, which includes the conference championship game, the conference tournament games, the NIT, the NCAA, and CBI postseason tournaments, right through those championship games as well. $249. It'll set you up for the entire March Madness package. And also, special going on right now. When you buy a 3-day package from any one of us for $99, you will get a 4th day free. So if you buy a 3-day package today, you're going to get Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So this special runs right through Selection Sunday. So take advantage of that offer, folks. Great stuff on the board with some great handicappers over at gamblersworld.net, where we guarantee all our picks, and that simply means all our single game and multi-game daily packages, as well as subscription plans of 30 days or fewer. You must win, you must make a profit, or we will credit back your account the exact amount of the purchase price that you paid for. In any event, Jesse, how are you, my man?
Not bad, Ross. I guess you guys had some daylight savings over there stateside, and no such luck for me. So everything's just an hour earlier from now on.
Buddy, check your mic. You're a little low and you're echoing a little bit, and I'm sure just a slight adjustment will take care of that.
Testing. No.
Let's get to Sean. Sean, how was your weekend, my friend?
Not too bad. I don't mind daylight savings time, although it really kicked me in the butt because you're looking at college basketball and then it's 2:30 and it becomes 3:30 in the morning, and you're up at 6:30 and you're like, wow, that's a tough Sunday morning. But I had no complaints. Nice day yesterday. Free picks are rolling along, so I'm happy. Jesse was just saying, I don't love the conference tournaments as much as I like the big dance. I'm like, man, how did not just love the conference tournaments? It's like one day after another. 11:30 today. 11:30. We got games in an hour and a half.
Yeah, conference tournaments, you really have to buckle up and strap in because they play every day, and we see a lot of surprises during conference tournaments, especially in the mid-majors, where we've seen several so far. And in any event, I had a pretty good weekend. As a matter of fact, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 5-2 in college basketball. I'll take that any day, every day. And in any event, let's get right to the games we're going to cover. We're going to start with Jesse. He's going to be doing the Horizon League Championship game between Oakland out of Michigan, not Oakland, California, but Oakland, Michigan, taking on the Wisconsin Milwaukee Golden Panthers. And that game goes at 7 p.m. Eastern time tonight, neutral site in Indianapolis. Right now, Oakland is a 5-point favorite in the total 151.5. No surprise that Oakland's here, Jesse, but Milwaukee pull off an upset last night, and they're in the championship game, so anything could happen. But your take on this one, my friend?
Yeah, that Milwaukee team, they come in hot. I mean, they've scored 80+ points in 6 of their last 7 overall. They come in on a big winning streak, and They've given Oakland a run for their money during the regular season in the 2 head-to-head meetings. In fact, at Oakland, it was 100-95 for Oakland when Milwaukee played at Oakland during the regular season. Big high total in that game, but not uncharacteristic of the 2 teams. You look at their head-to-head meetings, they've gone over the number in 9 of the last 10 head-to-head. You look at the totals, the listed numbers for those games. The last meeting, 157. Prior to that, 151. Prior to that, 156.5. You look at this Milwaukee team, they obviously play at a very fast pace. They rank 46th nationally, averaging 73.7 possessions per game, Whereas different story for Oakland, slower than average pace, 68.5 possessions per game. And you'd think that that would mean a pace war, and you would give the advantage to the favorite in a pace war. But when you look at previous head-to-head meetings, it looks like Oakland's content to play at any pace that Milwaukee wants to play at. I'm going to go with history here and go over the number. I just think in a conference tournament game, Milwaukee on the roll that they're on, I think the points will keep on coming.
Yeah, stop the presses, because Jesse's taking an over with a sizable number, as he's going Oakland and Milwaukee over the total of 151.5. Can't blame him there. Milwaukee has played over the total in their last 4 and 6 of their last 7 games. And Oakland, like Jesse alluded to, they'll play at any pace you want to. And boy, you look at those 2 regular season matchups. You had 147 field goal attempts in one game and 129 in the other combined. And that's an extremely fast pace by college basketball standards, Sean.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm happy. Sidewise, I'm not really concerned. I have a nice Milwaukee 20-1 ticket. So they've been taking care of business. I also had a Cleveland State one, both a 20-1, and I was on a collision course to have a championship one, but they couldn't hold on. Give me this Milwaukee again. Give me the points at Milwaukee. Let's go. I'm riding. No hedging here. We're not gardening. We're looking for Milwaukee outright. Let's go.
Yeah.
Milwaukee. They're a tough little squad.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you look at how they played down the stretch. They're let's see, they went 15. They're 15-8 in conference games this year, but they've done the majority of their damage down the stretch, in which they come into the championship game of the Horizon tournament on a 6-game win streak, and they've won 8 of their last 9. So teams playing real well. But Oakland's not bad themselves. They've won 3 in a row. They've won 7 of their last 8 and 10 of their last 12 games. So, I mean, both of these teams playing very good ball right now, but Sean's lean is toward Wisconsin plus the points. He's also got a little bit of bias there because he put in a 20-1 ticket before the Horizon tournament and on Milwaukee. So he's got a lot at stake here. Besides just his +5 pick here. But our official pick comes from Jesse. He likes Oakland and Wisconsin-Milwaukee to go over the total of 151.5. And folks, if Jesse likes an over, you better pay attention. And I can't disagree with him, because there's a lot of components here that leads us to believe this will be an exciting, entertaining, and high-scoring affair. Sean, the trilogy tonight between Gonzaga and St. Mary's. We use there's been a lot of great trilogies in boxing lore, but this certainly is one this season, at least. I mean, these 2 teams have been perennially the best teams in the West Coast Conference. This year they split during the regular season. St. Mary's was the regular season conference champion. But they lost their final regular season game to Gonzaga in pretty decisive manner, I should say. Do they get their revenge tonight, or do we stick with a red hot Gonzaga team that we've said, Sean, on numerous occasions this year, up until a few weeks ago, this didn't look like the caliber Gonzaga teams we're used to, but boy, oh boy, they do now.
I said at the beginning of the year, take St. Mary's to win the WCC because Gonzaga's down a little bit. They won the first matchup in Gonzaga, and I did the free pick here for the show. I said we're taking Mary's over Gonzaga here. They have to win this game because you have to tell Big Brother that we're in charge here. So when it came to the championship game in Vegas, if you lost, it's no big deal. You lose. Hey, we beat them twice. We're champs. Whatever. It happens. But give Gonzaga all day and twice on Tuesday night here at the Orleans or wherever they're playing. St. Mary's, I think Gonzaga will be in their heads. You lost at home, and it wasn't even. I mean, they were down early. It was just an ugly game. Yeah, they might. I don't think so. I think I slept on Gonzaga. The win at Kentucky showed me like, wow, maybe they're finding their way. And I mean, what kind of run are they on here? 1, 2, 3,
9.
4, 5, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7, 1, 8, 1, 9, 1, 10, 1, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 1 run.
Yeah. 9-game winning streak, 14-1 the last 15, correct.
And the loss was 64-62.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
At home against St. Mary's. Yeah.
And the other loss was 77-76 at Santa Clara. Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at somebody. Yeah. No, give me Gonzaga 3.5. A 3.5. It's not even like a pick 'em. 3.5.
Yeah. All right. So
Dangerous team. Dangerous. And really, I didn't think, it was one of those like, oh, they might not make the tournament. They have some, they lost to Washington. It's like, are they really that good? They're beating bad teams. Yeah. Well, now they're just scoring 85, 90 a game, just rolling along. Yeesh.
Yeah. Sean's official pick for us is Gonzaga -3.5. I just a little leery, Jesse, because all the talking heads in recent days have been praising Gonzaga. And if you were watching the first game last night between St. Mary's and Santa Clara, you got to watch Gonzaga. If you haven't caught Gonzaga lately, you got to watch them. Wait till you see Gonzaga tonight. All right, well, they win by 12. It was only a 2-point game at the half. I just don't like siding with teams when they're getting too much hype like Gonzaga has had over the last week. Every time you tune into a college basketball show, everybody's talking about Gonzaga and how everybody wrote them off, and now they look like the Gonzaga of old. But anyway, it doesn't matter what I think, Jesse. It's your spot to say what you think.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking along the same lines as you, Ross. I look at the two meetings during the regular season. Gonzaga wins the last meeting by a score of 70-57. How did they do it? Well, they shot 51.7% from the field, 55% from beyond the arc. And Mary's turned it over, I think, 19 times. It was a game where St. Mary's played as bad as they could possibly play, and they still only gave up 70 points to this Gonzaga team. Then at home against St. Mary's, they scored 62 points and lost. I'm going to expect some regression to the mean as far as the shooting percentage from Gonzaga here. I'm not going to pick a side, but I'm going to go Gonzaga team total under, and I think that we're probably I'm looking for it, but I haven't seen one yet. But based on the spread in the total, you can do a mathematical formula. Should be 71.5, which would be a 1.5 higher than they scored when they beat them in the last meeting. So Gonzaga team total under 71.5 is the direction I'm going.
All right, so there you have it, Jesse, approaching it from a different angle, going with Gonzaga under their team total of 71.5. And I'm going to have a small lean. I probably am not going to use this game on my premium card, but I will, as a sports fan in general, watch this game because it certainly shapes up to be a good one. I'm going to have a small lean towards St. Mary's plus the 3.5. In any event, Sean's official pick for us is Gonzaga -3.5, and that's the only one that counts.
Mary's is going to choke. They can't handle the pressure. They know Gonzaga's all in their heads. Forget about it.
Yeah. Well, the key will be if Gonzaga gets up on them early, St. Mary's is not built to come from behind in games. They could be extremely tough, as we saw last night. Once they get the lead on you, they control tempo. They limit your offensive possessions, and they play stellar defense, and they rebound the ball good. So, they're a tough team to come back on. But, Gonzaga showed in that last matchup at St. Mary's, they got the lead on them, and St. Mary's was out of sorts. So that's going to be the key in my estimation. Who could get out to the lead and who can control tempo in this game? All right, I'm going to look at the ACC tournament. A matchup between Miami of Florida and Boston College. That game goes at 7:00 tonight. The ACC tournament will be played in Washington, D.C. Right now, Miami is a 2-point favorite and a total 147. Guys, I'm going to say it again. I've been saying it right along over the years, and I'll continue to say it. This is one you need to think like an odds maker. Let's stop and think about this rationally. this line opened with Miami being a 1.5 point favorite. It's now 2. This is a Miami team that has lost 9 consecutive games in a row going into the ACC tournament. That includes 2 losses to BC by 8 and 10. So it's not like they played nail biters against them. Yet, here we are. Miami of Florida is a 1-point favorite here. Now, you look inside the numbers with BC, and the record is better in ACC play. Their overall record is nothing to write home about, but by BC standards, the way they played the last few years, they've been pretty much respectable. But you know what, Sean? They beat Miami twice. They beat Louisville twice. Okay? Those are 4 games were down the final stretch of the regular season. You take away their games against Miami and Louisville, this team has gone 0-7 straight up in ATS in their last 7 games, losing by over 9 points per contest. If it looks too good to be true in sports betting, more times than not, it is. I mean, the easy thing, look, from a novice sports bettor, you could look at this game and say, hey, Miami's lost 9 in a row. They lost both regular season meetings to Boston College. And Miami's a favorite. You got to take Boston College. Like Lee Corso always says, not so fast, my friends. I am going to take the Miami Hurricanes here, minus 130 on the money line over Boston College this evening. And yes, I'm putting my behind on the line with that one. Jesse.
I'm a little bit concerned that it's like trying to catch a falling knife with Miami here. And I'm going to counter your odds maker speech with maybe what the odds makers are thinking is this team went to the Final Four last year. This is the big brand name. Boston College is the perennial bottom feeder of the ACC. And Miami's got a stronger fan base. The betting public likes this Miami team. How many people are coming to bet now that the conference tournaments have started that haven't really been betting all year? The injuries. Nigel Pack, the starting point guard. So he missed like 5 or 6 games, something along those lines, comes back against Boston College. He goes 0 for 5 from the field, then re-injures his knee. I know he's listed as questionable, and the line sort of says to me, oh, they think this guy's going to play. I mean, Miami's a favorite. They've lost 9 straight. Part of the reason they lost 9 straight was the injury to their point guard. But for me, when he misses a bunch of time, comes back, and immediately re-injures the knee, I just don't see him coming back and being effective, being 100%. Even if he is going to play, I have no faith that he's going to play well. And I think there's too many reasons to be concerned about Miami. No way I can take Miami as a favorite. So it's Boston College or nothing for me.
Well, when any team loses 9 in a row going into a matchup, there's always reason for concern, you know. In any event, to counter your point, I would say that would be more applicable to a team like Florida Atlantic that is unranked right now and went to the Final Four last season and is had I won't say a underachieving year, but not as dominant as a year as people expected, especially within their own conference. But Miami, I think that the odds makers are well beyond remembering that they're a bigger brand in a Final Four team last year, especially in light of the fact they lost both regular season matchups to Boston College. Again, the 9-game losing streak. I beg to differ with you, Jesse, but that's okay. Our official pick here is Miami, minus 130 on the money line. Sean, what's your take on this contest?
I grabbed Miami money line last night on the late night money show. I said Miami, and I got it myself for today at a 1.5. Just like you said, I looked at that and I wanted to take what they played the other day. I'm like, man, I want to take Boston College. It was 4.5. It went up to 6.5. So people were betting Miami like freaks. I'm like, I can't play. Both of these teams have played like trash. But here, like you said, I forget about the mean in the Final Four. I just, I can't see the coach, or because I like the coach. I think he's a good coach. How don't these guys show a little bit of pride, right? And can you have a good game, fellas? Like, and again, is that a bias towards their history of going to the Final Four? And I know I got the big U football sign behind me. That's more of 80s, early 90s U kind of football. I'm 50, folks. They haven't been good in 20 years. Why the last game it went from 4.5 to 6.5. So they could have started these guys as a dog and really got a whole lot of action on them. At that point, I would have been probably not even looking to play it.
Yeah.
So, like you said, the casual bettors coming to town, but I think they would have probably made a little bit more on them because people would have, an underdog? They're an underdog. You got to take them. They're an underdog, not at a favorite. Yeah. So that spot of it, that's why I was kind of like, you know what? I got to take Miami. I like the coach.
Jim Larinaga,
the guy is good. I mean, he does every year.
Two separate schools to the Final Four, George Mason and Miami of Florida last year. I know they had
this is just 15 wins. It's like, what? I don't know.
Yeah.
And then one last thing, though, because we just talked about like South Carolina, a team that doesn't get any respect. Like, is this like the opposite side where it's like, well, it's South Carolina, they'll eventually fall off, even though it's March 12th and they have 25 wins. Like, is it they're giving us Miami the respect every week because it's
that's Jesse's angle.
I get it. I understand that because that's my thinking on taking points with Carolina every week. Like, all right, give me points with a team that's won 26 games. I guess I have to take it. But
to me, if you're going to give me a small favorite that's lost 9 in a row, lost both regular season meetings to the team they're playing against, I would go against everything I believe in by taking the underdog here. So, again, our official pick is Miami minus 130 on the money line over Boston College. Sean likes Gonzaga minus 3.5 over St. Mary's. Me and Jesse, Jesse likes the under 71.5 on Gonzaga's team total. I have a small lean towards St. Mary's plus the 3.5. In Oakland, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, you got to pay attention when Jesse takes an over. He likes over 151.5 in that matchup. So again, folks, don't forget, right now through Selection Sunday, any of us on our 3-day packages, $99, you will get a 4th day absolutely free right through Sunday. Also, $249 for any one of us will get you the rest of the conference tournament action, the NIT, the NCAA tournament, the CBI right through each of those championship games. So great value there. Spend a little to make a lot with any one of us over at gamblersworld.net. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, you'll see a black subscribe button underneath. It costs you absolutely nothing, folks. It's 100% free with no strings attached. And once you have subscribed, or if you have subscribed already, take an extra second to go into your YouTube settings and click on the alert notification bell for the Winner's Circle Sports Betting channel, and you'll be notified upon any of our 5 podcasts weekly going up on our channel. Jesse, there's a like button right underneath.
Smash that like button. How's the mic working now, Ross?
It's working good now. Unfortunately, you can't do the whole show like that, but in any event, until like that, hit that like button, folks. It's a small token of your appreciation for the work, time, and effort we put in to bring in you a quality podcast each and every time and to make you a smarter sports bettor today than you were yesterday. We'll be back tomorrow with both Jesse and Sean, and we'll be looking at Jesse will be looking at the Texas and Kansas State Big 12 tournament matchup. Sean will be looking at Marquette facing the winner of today's Providence-DePaul game, which in all likelihood will be Providence. And I'll be looking at the Creighton versus the Villanova Georgetown winner, and I'll be shocked if it's not Creighton versus Villanova. But you never know. We've seen surprises. That's why they call it March Madness. Until the next time, for Sean Higgs, Jesse Schule, and Ross Benjamin, take care and God bless, folks.